What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Zatima. This is Season 3, Episode 3, and baby, let's go ahead and get right into this review. So we start the episode off with Fatima going outside, and she sees that the three amigos have showed up, which is Nate, Tony, and Connie. I'm already over this scene because I can already tell that they're going to try to do this back and forth thing that Tyler Perry loves to do. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because in this scene, there were so many things that was repeated. I'm just like, okay, we got to cut this out. But here's the thing. Fatima go out there so that way she can kind of control the situation. Because she feels like, Zach is already stressed out because his mom passed away. If you guys have anything to tell him, it can wait. So, of course, Zach wants to know why these people showed up at his house in the middle of the night. Now, here goes Nathan. He wants to spill the beans that Jeremiah put hands on Fatima. However, Fatima is like, Zach, you need to go in the house because, it's cold outside and your mom just died and you need to go relax. And then you have Connie and, what's his name? Tony. They're like, oh yeah, Zach, you should go in the house. We didn't mean to come by. I'm just like, this is stupid. And also the fact that they went back and forth for a while about Zach, you need to go in the house, while Nate is like, we got something to tell you. It was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. And then next thing you know, Zach actually does end up going in the house, and Belinda pulls up. Oh, and then Angela pulls up. I'm just like, okay, Tyler, just say that you didn't know what to write, okay? Because there's no way all these people going to show up to the front of somebody's house and nobody going to say why they showed up. It doesn't make sense. So, at this point, I wanted everybody to go home, okay? Don't need none of y'all here. So, Nate, he's going on about how he needs to tell Zach and they need to tell Zach what happened. And Fatima, she's like, no, because I'm protecting Zach and we already know that he would, go back to jail. And I'm just like, this is stupid. This whole scene is really stupid. Fatima, you got knocked upside the head and was laid out on the floor. Why are you protecting Jeremiah, even though you're saying that you're protecting Zach because he may attack his brother? Girl, it's giving kind of weird. Then, for his friends to have shown up and still not have said something, that's just weird. Because why are y'all still outside of my house? It doesn't make sense. So, what's his name? Nate. He's like, you don't know Zach better than we do. And Fatima's response was, oh, well, are you sleeping with him? And here's my thing, y'all. I know that a lot of times people feel like because they're sleeping with somebody, they know that person inside out. And you may to an extent. However, Nate has known Zach since they were kids. So I do kind of think that their 20, 30 plus friendship, he may know him a little bit better than somebody who just been with him for 2 years. That's all I'm saying. He just may have a little bit of an advantage. But nonetheless, all these people finally leave the house. You have Angela out there acting as if she's the security guard. All right, you guys, go home. Go home. I'm like, what was the whole purpose of this scene? To have everybody drive over to this house and not a one word was said about what actually happened. But let's go ahead and move on. So, next thing you know, we see that Zach, he over there stressing while he's supposed to be in the bathtub. But no, he's stressed out about the funeral. And Fatima's like, you know what, babe, I'll plan it for you. All you have to do is approve everything. And she ends up asking him what's his mom's favorite color. And of course he didn't have the answer because they don't have that type of relationship, okay? So she does see that Zach is over there drinking his worries away. And she's like, well, is that going to be a problem? Because, baby, she did not sign up to date a man with an alcohol problem, okay? Now, according to him, he got it under control. He's not, always leaning in on the bottle, but we gonna see. I mean, I would hope that Zach doesn't pick up, a terrible problem like alcoholism. You know what I mean? Because that would actually be an interesting spin on this show. Zach having a drinking problem, and he got to figure his way out of that, but we'll see. Nonetheless, we see Zatima go downstairs, right? So she gives Connie a call from Zach's phone, and she asks if his mom had a favorite color. So she's like, yeah, she likes some purple flowers or whatever. And then Connie, she goes on to be like, oh, you can go ahead and thank me because I didn't say nothing to Zach. I'm like, Connie, go sit down somewhere. Girl, get over yourself. So then Zatima, she wants to know, like, what exactly did Jeremiah say happened? But, he didn't really say that he hit her. He just said that he didn't hit her. But nonetheless, she wants him to go ahead and cool it, keep that, under wraps because she never wants it to get to Zach. So one thing that I did appreciate about this conversation between Zatima and Connie is that Connie said that she would help with the funeral. And I feel like that was very nice of her to say. And also she knew Miss Gladys. So, I wouldn't mind these two ladies working together on putting that funeral together. I really wouldn't. Now, moving on, we see Belinda and Nate. Y'all, don't Nate have a whole wife? I could have swore that he did. But nonetheless, Belinda is extremely messy. And honestly, I don't understand her purpose. Because she keeps telling him that he should call Zach, okay? Like, this entire scene was cringy. And it's crazy to me because Belinda, she feels like she can get so involved in things that are happening with Zach and Zatima when they don't even like her, especially Zatima. And, like, it gets to the point where he's like, I'm not about to call Zach. I'm not about to do that. And she's like, okay, well, if you don't call Zach, you can get out of my house. I'm like, how is that even equivalent? Like, what is happening here? So Nate, he literally calls Zach, but Zach doesn't answer. So she's like, okay, well, you need to go over there and tell him. Girl, why are you so obsessed? That's the real question. Why is Belinda so obsessed with whatever Zach got going on? And also at the same time, it's like, Nate, why are you even messing around with Belinda? It's so strange. Nonetheless, we're going to move on because we see Zatima, she at home, and Preston come over. Y'all, why are all these random people showing up to their house at night? Like, come on. Even this whole scene with Preston could have happened the next day. He did not need to show up to their house. Nonetheless, this man walks into the house, okay, sits down, and then I think he asks Zatima, like, how Zach was doing or something like that. And next thing you know, he's like, well, I don't want to bother you. You can just tell him that I stopped by. Preston, what do you want? Why did you show up? This is stupid. Again, I don't know what Tyler's trying to do, but stretching this out is ridiculous. And what's crazier to me is the fact that Preston has already spent the entire day with Zach, okay? Why are you showing up at this hour? It's giving weirdo. But nonetheless, before he can leave, Zach ends up coming downstairs, and Preston's like, oh, well, can we go outside and talk? Why are we going outside? Like, this don't make no sense. Everything that he said could have been said in front of Fatima. Or they could have at least went outside on the deck. Why are we going outside in the front yard? It just don't make no sense. But nonetheless, they end up going outside, and Preston, he explains that he understands why Bryce made the decision that he did to purchase the property, because it's on the belt line and blah, 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 blah. So next thing you know, he ends up suggesting to Zach that, hey, you can use the top floor for your office and then rent out the rest. Y'all, when I tell you I'm so confused, I'm like, now Preston, why are you getting involved in this? Because next thing you know, according to Zach, he needs $2.7 million. I'm like, how did we get here? Okay? The math ain't mathing on none of this, okay? So from what I gathered, okay, when Bryce bought that property, okay, he took some of his money, some of Gary's money, as well as, what's his name? Zach's money. They were supposed to all go into the pot to pay for this property, right? Gary pulls out the deal. So they defaulted to whatever Zach has. Zach, now how do we go from you having 1.5, now you need a 2.7? I'm a little confused here. Because then on top of that, Preston ends up giving him a check for $3 million, but then he only wants 33%. I'm like, what do you mean? Those numbers don't add up. Because you just covered practically the whole bill. You need more than 33%. Or am I tripping? Because it's giving that Zach ain't putting no money in. If he's saying that the thing defaulted on him or whatever, and Bryce took his money, it's given he didn't want to put any money in because he was not initially trying to purchase this property. So what's Zach's portion to put in? Like, I'm sorry, this just don't make no sense, y'all. None of it makes sense. And then this also led me to wonder a couple of other questions. Number one, Preston, are you still married to Mindy? Does she know that you just gave up $3 million so that you can invest into some property? Just curious. Also, I find it interesting that Zach and Zatima both asked him at one point, did Danny know that he had all this money? Baby, clearly not. But also, I'm giving a side eye to Preston. You mean to tell me you was sitting on this kind of money and you was laid up in a studio apartment just cooking steaks all day? Make that make sense, sir. Like, Danny may have put it on him, but please no. Why was you over here living in a shoebox when you can definitely afford your own place? It makes no sense. But nonetheless, like I said, Fatima ended up coming outside or whatever, so everybody's all happy about the $3 million. And Zach, he plans to definitely make Bryce suffer just a little bit longer because he took his money. Okay, sir. We gonna go ahead and move on to this last scene, right? So we see Angela, she back hooking up with Sean. I said, so you mean to tell me that you hooked up with him, left the house to go play around at Fatima's house, came back, and now y'all back to getting it popping? Okay. Nonetheless, he keeps calling her another woman's name, which I thought was kind of weird. So she's like trying to kick him out or whatever. But of course, he's trying to have a conversation with her because he wants more out of the relationship. However, she thinks that he's an F-boy and she likes to be single. She likes her freedom. Now, next thing you know, we hear a car horn outside. And Sean is like, yeah, you might want to check that situation over there. Baby, when I tell you I would have grabbed a skillet and walked out that door to see Bryce, because, baby, I'm coming outside with a weapon because something's not mentally right with you. It is the middle of the night and you decide to come by my house blowing your horn? Like, I feel like I deserve the right to go upside your head because you play too much. Baby, she goes outside and she's like, listen, I have company. And he's like, well, I'm in need. And she's like, okay, well, my kitty's in need, okay? And he's like, why are you talking to me like that, Angela? Like, all this stuff. I was like, oh, no. He's spazzing. This man is going off. And I mean, like, going off about how, like, why did I come here? And then he starts going on about how nobody cares about him. And his dad said he was ashamed of him. I'm just like, Bryce, go get some self-control. Like, you need to go sleep this off. Like, I get it. You thought that you would be able to get the money back for Zach. But the way you're spiraling and why are you also showing up at Angela's door, she's not your woman anymore. Like, it's giving weirdo. Then he has the audacity to hop in his car and cause a damn accident. I don't feel bad for Bryce in any way, shape, or form at this point, because the fact that he hopped in that car and hit somebody else's car, that's a problem for me. Because at the end of the day, sir, you were in the wrong, and I hope they sue you. But y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it, and I will talk to y'all in my review for the next episode. All right, catch y'all later. Bye.